Hey everybody, Connor here today at etrailer.com. We're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver here for our 2012 Ford Edge. So here's what our trailer hitch is going to look like installed. It's going to give us a Class 3 rating with a 2-inch receiver tube opening. We also have this nice matte black finish, which really helps it blend in with the back of our vehicle. So the Class 3 2-inch receiver tube opening is going to give us many options. If we want to use this for a bike rack or cargo carrier, we're going to have a greater variety of accessories to choose from because of the larger 2-inch receiver tube opening. Now we can also use our trailer hitch for towing. And if we are towing, this hitch here is going to provide us with a 4,000 pound gross trailer weight rating. That's how much we can pull outward on our fully loaded trailer. It's also going to provide us with a 400 pound tongue weight rating, which is the downward force here on the receiver tube. So in regard to the weight capacities, you do need to keep in mind that your vehicle may be rated lower than the trailer hitch because they are tested separately. If that's the case, you'll need to abide by the lower of the two ratings, whether that's the vehicle or the trailer hitch. So if we take a look at the side of our receiver tube, we're going to see our standard 5/8 inch diameter hitch pin hole. This is going to work with our standard 5/8 inch diameter hitch pin and clip, which you'll need to obtain here through etrailer.com because they do not come with. Now these are going to be used to secure our ball mount or our bike rack / cargo carrier. And welded to the bottom of the receiver tube, we're going to see our safety chain loops. Now these are going to work perfectly whether we have these smaller S-type hooks here or we have the larger clevis hooks. So something I do like to point out about the eTrailer hitch here that's sort of specific to this particular application, what we talked about earlier is the matte finish, but also it's actually going to sit up right below the rear bumper, a lot closer than some of the other options. And what this is going to do is it's going to give us more ground clearance, and it's also going to give us a better look because it's more flush to the bottom of the bumper. So now we have a couple measurements here for you. They're going to help when you're selecting your hitch mounted accessories, such as a ball mount, bike rack, or cargo carrier. First measurement we have here is the distance from the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening. It's going to be 13 inches. So this measurement in particular will be useful when we're selecting our ball mount, so we can make sure we get the correct rise and drop to tow our trailer level. The other measurement we have for you is the distance from the center of the hitch pin hole to the outside edge of the bumper. That's going to be 4 inches, and this measurement here will be particularly useful when we're selecting our folding accessories, such as a bike rack or cargo carrier. That way we can make sure while they're in the stowed position that they don't contact our vehicle's bumper. So now that we've gone over some of the features and benefits of the trailer hitch, let's go ahead and jump right into installation. I definitely encourage you guys to try this one at home by yourself because you really don't need a lot of install knowledge or any specialized tools. So to start our installation off, we actually need to go ahead and lower our exhaust here so we can get our hitch up into place. But the first step to do this is we need to go ahead and take a support strap here. We're just going to be using a cam buckle strap. We need to go ahead and support this portion of our exhaust pipe here. That way, when we remove the isolators, it doesn't fall down and cause any damage. So we're just going to take two little hooks here. It doesn't really matter where we hook it. We just need to support the exhaust here. We're just going to hook it to the coil springs there, and then we're going to pull that up like so. So now we can go ahead and break free our exhaust hangers from the rubber isolators. And in order to do this, what's going to help us out is we're going to take a spray lubricant here, and we're going to spray down the metal hanger that attaches our exhaust pipe to the rubber isolator. So we're going to go ahead and spray down each one of these here, nice and good, to help us when we're removing them. So there's going to be one here on each side, and then one here at the rear. So now we're going to take an exhaust hanger removal tool or a pry bar, whatever you have handy. We're going to go ahead and pop out each one of these hangers here. Just like that. So we'll go ahead and repeat this process now on the other two hangers. So this is what our exhaust should look like. We have it properly lowered here away from the vehicle. As you can see here, we have plenty of room to sneak our trailer hitch up in there. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come on the inside of the vehicle here. We can see this center bracket here, which attaches the bottom part of our fascia to the body of the vehicle. We're going to have one screw here. We need to go ahead and remove that using a 7/32 inch socket. So now we'll go ahead and take this center support here. What we're going to do is we're going to pull down on our fascia because we're just going to tuck this back up and away in that little pocket just like that. And once that's done, we can go ahead and take our screw that we removed, go ahead and insert that back into the hole. So now we need to come underneath here. We're going to have our two heat shields here. Those both need to be removed. In order to remove these, we're going to have 3 screws, one here, and one here, as well as a couple push fasteners. So we're going to get an 8mm socket. We'll go ahead and remove the screws now. So now we should be able to come down. We're going to take a little trim panel tool here. I'm going to try to pry those little push fasteners off. Keep in mind, we have one more here at the top. Now we'll go ahead and do this process on the other side. So now we're going to take our heat shield here. We're going to modify it slightly. Now it's going to get in the way of our hitch, so we need to go ahead and trim out 2 areas. Pretty much the rounded corner here needs to come out, and this little tab here needs to come out as well. We're going to be taking a pair of tin snips to go ahead and remove these sections here. We'll come around to the other side here. We're just going to sort of cut out this rounded corner here. So it should look about like that. We'll go ahead and repeat this process on the other side now. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and reinstall our heat shield here. We're actually not going to be reinstalling these 2 outside bolts, just this center one here with our push fastener. If we remember on the driver's side here, we're going to have another connector here that goes to our wiring harness. But once we have those in place, we can go ahead and begin installing our hardware, feeding it up into the frame here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be using our spacer block, our carriage bolt, and our fish wire. The holes we're going to be using here, there's going to be one oblong hole here, there's going to be one circular hole directly behind our bumper beam. So what we need to do is we're going to go ahead and take our pull wire here. We're going to give it a little, we're going to straighten out the bend a little bit, and then we're going to take the coiled end, we're going to shove it through that oblong hole at the rear. Then we're going to reach behind our bumper here where that access hole is, grab a hold of our coiled end and pull that out. Now we can go ahead and attach our spacer block and follow that up by threading on our carriage bolt. Once these are in, we can go ahead and take the other end of our pull wire here. We'll feed it up in there, pushing our spacer block through the access hole first, and then our carriage bolt should follow. We'll go ahead and pull our pull wire through, feeding our carriage bolt through the spacer block and through the hole in our frame. Now we'll go ahead and repeat this process on our other holes. Now we can go ahead and repeat this process on the other side. So now with an extra set of hands, we can go ahead and set our hitch up into position. Cool. So now we're going to take our 19mm socket. We're going to go ahead and snug up our hardware. Now, using our hitch as a template, we're going to take a 7/32 inch drill bit. We're going to go ahead and drill out the hole here in our frame. Now we'll take one of our bolts here. Let's go ahead and test fit the hole we drilled to make sure it fits through. Now we're going to go ahead and use our fish wire so we can fish our bolt up into this hole here, similar to how we did for the other holes. However, keep in mind, these two front holes that we just drilled out are going to use the slightly longer carriage bolt which comes with our kit. Now we'll take our pole wire here, we'll go ahead and run that through our hole there, and sneaking out our access hole so we can attach our final hardware. Now we're going to go ahead and snug up our hardware and torque it down. Now we'll take our 19mm socket and we'll go ahead and torque down all of our hardware to the specifications of our instructions. So now that we have all of our hardware torqued, we can go ahead and reinstall our exhaust hangers back into the rubber isolators. And that's going to do it for our look and installation of the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver here for our 2012 Ford Edge.